and see Transformers: The Last Night in theaters June 21st.
Tonight, breaking news. President Trump revealing his decision to the country, to the world. We're out, he says, pulling out of the Paris Climate Accord. Tonight, fierce reaction pouring in. The CEO of GE blasting the deal, saying climate change is real. And tonight, Germany, France, and Italy issuing a rare joint statement. The resort attack overseas. The images coming in at this hour. Reports of gunfire. Tourists trampling each other to get out. The emergency in midair in this country. The flight from Chicago to Miami. Flames shooting from the engine. The deadly plant explosion. The search at this hour for the missing. And the Tiger Woods video, the sobriety test. And you will hear him answering the officers' questions. Among them, do you know where you are?
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a Thursday night. And we begin tonight with reaction across this country and the world to President Trump's decision to pull out of the Paris Climate Accord. The U.S. joining only Syria and Nicaragua in not joining the deal. The president said today it was a bad deal for America and that he was elected to represent the, quote, citizens of Pittsburgh, not Paris. Tonight, the mayor of Pittsburgh among the many reacting, corporate leaders speaking out. And President Trump a short time ago fielding calls from the German chancellor and from the French president, who went on television saying, make our planet great again, saying the United States has turned its back on the world. ABC senior White House correspondent Cecilia Vega leading us off.
With the world watching today, President Trump walked into the Rose Garden to deliver the news himself.
Therefore, in order to fulfill my solemn duty to protect America and its citizens, the United States will withdraw from the Paris Climate Accord. Thank you.
He is making good on a campaign promise, but in his own inner circle, the divisions ran deep. Right there in the front row, the man who lobbied for withdrawal, his chief strategist Steve Bannon. Not seen, those who opposed leaving the deal, daughter Ivanka. She was home marking the Jewish holiday. The last-minute lobbying from around the world intense. But the bottom line for President Trump, American jobs.
I was elected to represent the citizens of Pittsburgh, not Paris. I promised I would exit or renegotiate any deal which fails to serve America's interests.
The reaction, swift. The mayor of Pittsburgh tweeting, I can assure you that we will follow the guidelines of the Paris Agreement for our people, our economy, and future. The Sierra Club saying, congratulations, President Bannon. Leonardo DiCaprio tweeting, our planet suffered. But the president said the benefits just didn't add up. A number of Republicans agreeing, including Paul Ryan, saying the Paris Climate Agreement was simply a raw deal for America.
Even if the Paris Agreement were implemented in full, with total compliance from all nations, it is estimated it would only produce a 0.2 of 1 degree. Think of that. This much Celsius reduction in global temperature by the year 2100. Tiny, tiny amount.
On the campaign trail, he called climate change a hoax.
A lot of it's a hoax. It's a hoax. I mean, it's a money-making industry, okay? It's a hoax. A lot of it.
But recently, aides said his views are evolving. On that foreign trip, he faced intense lobbying from world leaders, including the Pope. The president's beliefs about global warming not made any clearer today. Just 5 minutes after announcing his decision to leave the Paris Accord, he declared his love for the environment.
As someone who cares deeply about the environment, which I do, I cannot in good conscience support a deal that punishes the United States, which is what it does.
While President Trump says he would be willing to negotiate the deal all over again.
We will see if we can make a deal that's fair. And if we can, that's great. And if we can't, that's fine.
Tonight, from the leaders of France, Germany, and Italy, a collective rejection. Their joint statement saying the Paris Climate Accord cannot be renegotiated. This German paper saying Danke, Donald. The German chancellor even calling the president, she says she's disappointed. And late today, the French president Emmanuel Macron saying this.
Make our planet great again.
So let's get to Cecilia Vega live at the White House tonight. Cecilia, nearly 200 countries had signed the Paris Climate Agreement, and so much has been made that this agreement was non-binding. Essentially, the global community acknowledging work needs to be done on climate change. So what was the urgency behind getting out of something so quickly that was non-binding?
Well, David, you heard the president here today. For him, this is about jobs. This is about making good on that campaign promise. He and this White House are chalking this up to a big win at a time when they desperately need one, David.
Cecilia Vega leading us off tonight. Cecilia, thank you as always. Former President Obama was among the first to weigh in before President Trump was even done in the Rose Garden. The former president issuing a statement saying the nations that remain in the Paris Agreement will be the nations that reap the benefits in jobs and industries created. Adding, I believe the United States of America should be at the front of the pack. Also tonight here, mayors across this country and corporate America from GE to ExxonMobil to Apple all weighing in. The CEO of GE blasting the move, saying today climate change is real. ABC's chief business correspondent Rebecca Jarvis tonight.
Tonight, moments after President Trump announced that exit,
Believe me, this is not what we need.
U.S. companies firing back. General Electric CEO Jeff Immelt tweeting, climate change is real. Industry must now lead and not depend on government. Tesla CEO Elon Musk, who sits on the president's Economic and Manufacturing Advisory Councils, announcing on Twitter he no longer will. Writing, leaving Paris is not good for America or the world. For months, dozens of American companies, including Apple, Citigroup, Walmart, and ExxonMobil, have urged President Trump not to quit the agreement, arguing that participation would help strengthen global competitiveness, encourage investment, and create jobs. Local governments also chiming in tonight. 61 U.S. mayors now pledging to adopt, honor, and uphold the Paris Accord commitments. The mayor of Boston with this message.
When we talk about heat waves and major storms, we're talking about people losing their lives here in Boston, and we cannot let it happen.
A lot of reaction across this country tonight. Rebecca with us now. President Trump saying today the Paris Accord is bad for American jobs. Former President Obama then said the nations still in the accord will benefit the most from jobs created. So give us a reality check tonight. Where are the jobs?
Well, David, tonight in this country, there are 3 times the number of renewable energy jobs as there are jobs in the coal industry. If you take a look at this, as of now, there are 475,000 wind and solar jobs. Those are growing, whereas those coal jobs, 160,000 of them, they saw those numbers decline 24% last year, which is why it's not surprising the largest coal producer in this country has come out in appreciation of Trump's exit.
Supporting the move today.
Supporting the move, yes.
All right, Rebecca Jarvis with us tonight. Thank you. At the start of the president's Rose Garden statement, he also talked about a frightening scene playing out in Manila today. The president calling it terrorism, saying it was very sad. Many thought it was terrorism at first. Tonight, police on what it really was and the tourists who trampled each other to get out. Here's ABC's Alex Perez.
Oh my God, you guys, I can hear gunshots. Oh my God.
It was a terror scare tonight, sending hundreds fleeing. A gunman still at large at this hour inside a resort in Manila. Chaos and confusion as tourists trample one another to get out. At least 21 injured, according to police. Ambulances rushing to the casino and hotel. Police with guns drawn as guests stream out into the street, many with suitcases. First responders carrying the injured out on stretchers. Smoke seen rising above the neon sign. These people huddling together in a back room, others in this garage.
The next I saw, he started a huge fire. Okay. And then they just started running.
The police chief now saying there is likely no terror link, that it was a botched robbery. Authorities reviewing surveillance footage at this hour, looking for more suspects. Alex Perez, ABC News, London.
Alex, thank you. We have learned tonight that fired FBI Director James Comey will testify 1 week from today. Comey is expected to answer questions about his one-on-one meetings with President Trump and the memos he kept. Special counsel Robert Mueller, now running the FBI investigation into Russian meddling, is not objecting to the testimony. That investigation now reaching deeper into the president's inner circle. As we've reported here, scrutiny on Jared Kushner now and his meetings, including one with a Russian banker. Was that meeting over Russian relations, or was it about something else? Brian Ross's team tonight finding that banker in St. Petersburg.
Tonight in St. Petersburg, Russia, a rare public sighting of the Russian banker whose secret meeting with President Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, is now a focus of an FBI investigation. But the banker, Sergei Gorkov, trained as a spy, refused to answer questions from ABC News about what he and Kushner talked about. The meeting under investigation took place as Gorkov ran the Russian bank's branch office in New York after the election, and came at a time that the Kushner family was racing to raise money for its real estate business.
I think the question has to be asked, was this about you trying to get financing for your troubled real estate that you have in New York City?
The troubled real estate is this skyscraper on Fifth Avenue, the 666 building.
They borrowed $1.3 billion. That loan has to be paid back in 2 years.
The White House says the meeting between Kushner and Gorkov was about U.S.-Russia relations and arranged by the Russian ambassador. The bank says no, it was a private business discussion.
You worry about White House policy being shaped in a way that benefits either those banks or Russia at large.
Also in St. Petersburg tonight, an acknowledgement for the first time from Russian President Vladimir Putin that Russian hackers may have targeted Hillary Clinton and the Democrats. But he told reporters they are patriots who did it on their own, not for the state. Putin appears to be on a kind of interview circuit. Driving around with filmmaker Oliver Stone, the former KGB colonel said American spies have gone too far, but that Russian spies always obey the law.
But for the first time saying hackers perhaps did do some work, but not state actors, he said. Brian Ross back with us now. And on this issue of James Comey, 1 week from today, is there any chance the White House or the president could stop this testimony from happening?
Well, David, the president can try to invoke executive privilege, but legal experts we talked to today say that's a losing argument, especially because the president himself has already spoken publicly so much about those meetings with the former FBI director, David.
Brian Ross and your team, our thanks to you all. And meantime, next tonight, President Trump not ready to make good on another campaign promise, at least not yet, moving the U.S. Embassy in Israel from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Today, signing a waiver delaying the move for another 6 months. The White House says in order to improve chances for a peace deal between the Israelis and the Palestinians. Both of them consider Jerusalem their capital. Back here at home tonight into a deadly plant explosion in Wisconsin and the desperate search at this hour to find the missing. ABC's Lindsay Janis is on the scene tonight.
Tonight, firefighters carefully sifting through a mountain of rubble at this Wisconsin corn mill, searching for 2 missing workers.
A lot of fire, smoke, and a large explosion being heard.
Part of the plant exploding around 11 o'clock last night, sparking a massive fire.
There are several burned individuals.
You're on scene visibly right now. I see 5 walking wounded.
Crews rushing to rescue some of the 16 people inside.
The fire was still active. You had fire departments that were trying to get to the people that needed their assistance.
At least 1 worker was killed and 14 others injured. The explosion rocking the tiny village of Cambria, 45 miles north of Madison, taking down power lines and leaving hundreds like Karen Detman in the dark.
What did it sound like?
A thunderstorm, but maybe 10 times as bad. Like a huge bolt of lightning that hit really close to us.
David, 6 years ago, this mill was cited for multiple safety violations, but officials say those were fixed. Tonight, investigators here trying to figure out what caused this blast. David?
Lindsay Janis with us tonight. Thank you, Lindsay. And next here this evening, inside Tiger Woods' DUI arrest. Tonight, a closer look at that dash cam video. On it, you can hear the officers and their questions, and you can hear how Tiger Woods answers them. Here's ABC's Gio Benitez.
You know the reason I'm out with you now?
No.
It's because you're stopped in the road, in the middle of the road.
That video capturing the moment police say they had to wake Tiger Woods up in his Mercedes, stopped in the middle of that Florida highway with 2 flat tires. Woods bewildered, thinking he's in California.
You're headed down Orange County? Yeah. Okay. Do you know where you're at right now? I do not know. Have you been drinking tonight? No. No? Are you sure about that? Yeah.
Woods did pass 2 breathalyzer tests for alcohol, but told police he takes several prescriptions, including Vicodin. Woods had back surgery in April.
You're going to recite the entire English alphabet in a slow, non-rhythmic manner, meaning you're not going to sing it, okay? Do you understand the instructions?
Yeah.
Okay, what were the instructions?
Not to sing the national anthem backwards.
And David, Tiger Woods struggled for half an hour during those field sobriety tests. He's due in court next month and could face jail time if ultimately convicted. David.
Gio Benitez. Gio, thank you. There is still much more ahead on World News Tonight this Thursday. The mid-air emergency, the flight from Chicago to Miami, flames shooting from one of the engines, the passengers recording it all. The emergency landing coming up. Also new developments in the case of the missing mother lost at sea. What police are now revealing about her husband who was discovered alive in a raft. And America's strong tonight. The celebration at home plate. We love this today. The baseball player and the bat boy. Look at that. Sometimes a high five just isn't enough.